Right, boys. I know I look pretty sophisticated today, but yeah. Anyway, um, I was just lying in bed thinking for the last, I don't know, I was going to go to sleep, right? But I just sat there and I was like, you know what, I'll just sit here and just stare and think. Because I know not enough people do that nowadays. And I know it sounds weird, but maybe if you're watching this video, you might not think it's as weird as the majority of people probably think it is. Because, I don't know, you're probably on the same journey as me and you need to just fucking think and whatever about whatever. So I sat there thinking I was going to go to bed. And I was like, just thinking about life, thinking about what I'm doing, thinking about what I'm going to do next, what my kind of plan is, everything that I'm doing right at the moment, everything that I'm not doing right at the moment. And I came to the realization that I hadn't recorded my video. So I was like, fuck. So then I kept thinking for a bit and I was like, okay, fuck it, I need to go record this video. So here I am. So, with that being said, let's go back on the topic of thinking. Because there was another topic that I wanted to talk about specifically today, but I couldn't remember what it was. As I came to, I should have just written it down or something. But yeah, I just want to kind of clear things up with you guys on a specific thing. Now, I know that a lot of people have this thing known as insomnia, right? Where you can't sleep and you can't sleep for whatever reason. Um, whatever reason that is. I mean, there could be many reasons why you can't sleep, but I think the main reason insomnia kind of exists is because people like their mind is so full of things to think about, things to worry about, things that are stressing them out, and due to that, they can't switch it off to sleep. I think a lot of the time, I know when I can't sleep, the reason I can't sleep is because I'm sat there thinking about things, whether I'm excited, whether I'm worried, whether I'm like just excited that something's about to happen, or excited about what's happening tomorrow, or whatever. Right? You know when you were a kid at Christmas and you couldn't sleep the night before because you're like excited about the uncertainty of the next day, like what you're gonna get for Christmas, how's the day gonna go, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna like get, right? And I'm not saying that I have Christmas every day, but are we doing things the day after that I'm excited to do, whether it be a sales call with a really like exciting person to talk to or try and sell to, and then I think about the possibilities that could happen with that if the sales call goes well and I close them or whatever. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things that I can do that I can think about, right? And I think a lot of people they just completely disregard the thinking. They completely forget about thinking. Well, they don't forget about it, but there's so many things more stimulating than thinking or being in their own head that they're always trying to avoid the thought of thinking, the void thinking. And a lot of people live in their life where they don't want to think. They want to avoid thinking that because they're so worried about like things that they're worried, like thinking about like, things in their life. They're worried about them, you know, like whatever it's about. Could be about relationships, could be about their job, could be about like family issues, could be about whatever. But they're so worried about that and the possibilities and the uncertainties of them that they want to avoid thinking so much, especially throughout the day. So they're always going to be stimulated by so many things, and that's why social media companies make so much money because that is everyone's go-to thing. When they're worried, when they want to avoid thinking, when they're in a moment of discomfort, their first urge is to go onto their phone and fill that thing with stimulant, right? Whether it be TikTok, Instagram. And I think so many people avoid thoughts throughout the day, whatever it may be about, that they'll then finish the day. And when they have to sleep, there's no other way around it. They have to face those thoughts, right? Otherwise, they're not going to sleep. So, a lot of people, that's why so many people my age have like such fucked schedules because there's so many stimulating things to do past late hours of the day and um no one wants to attack their like deal with their problems head on. So they almost procrastinate going to sleep because a lot of people have to deal with those thoughts when they go to bed. So they procrastinate doing it until the later hours of the evening because when they're tired, when they're more tired, when they feel more like they need to sleep, then they'll go to sleep because they aren't then they can just go to sleep straight away, and they don't have to attack their thoughts head on. And I think the problem with that is the main problem with that is avoiding your problems is the root cause of discomfort, really. So it's almost backwards that you attack your problems and feel the discomfort of attacking your problems, or you avoid your problems and feel more discomfort later down the line, right? So there's a quote that goes something like if you attack your problems head on, this is really proper paraphrasing. If you attack your problems head on, you'll receive rewards in abundance, basically, something along those lines. And not many people do attack their problems head on. You know, a problem arises and your first urge is to almost avoid it because you're scared about how you're going to attack that problem, about what's going to happen. You know, when you do attack that problem, whether you could have done it better, whether you could do it better, and then it comes into it ties into perfectionism around whether you're attacking it in the right way, and because of that perfectionism, you then procrastinate doing it because you're like, oh, maybe I can reply with it like this, maybe I could do it like this, maybe I could do this, and doing that, you then get into a point of procrastination and perfectionism, and you never attack your problems, and then they just build up and build up and build up, and then it gets bad and bad and worse and worse and worse, and you get into a point where you're in a hole and you've got to get yourself out of it. So you've got to attack them at some point. It's just whether you do it now or later. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect to any extent. I have this same problem, and the reason that I'm able to kind of like speak on these topics with such confidence is because I have gone through these same problems myself. So, apart from insomnia, I've never had an issue with that. I've never had an issue with sleeping. That's the one thing that I haven't had. But I feel like a lot of people have insomnia purely because they get in there so far in their own head when they go to sleep that it's hard to sleep. That's my belief anyway. But I'm not a scientist. So yeah. Another thing that I was I kind of like thought of when I was sat there is the amount of time that I spend on social media, and then I deeped it fully. Like I don't spend that much time now as I did once, as I did like even like 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, if not longer, like around that time. I don't spend as much time now as I did, but I just look back on it and I'm like, I've definitely spent at least a day on Twitter, right? 16 hours, definitely. So put that into perspective. Yes, it might only be a day, but I know it's longer than a day. But put it into perspective. That is literally the equivalent of me getting out of bed and going straight on my computer and sitting there on my computer with my mouse doing this for 16 hours straight. No breaks. That is the equivalent. And I've done more than that. I've definitely done more than that. 100% I've done more than that. If not, like, I've probably done a week, if not longer, since I first got it. So yes, it was split up over the course of like the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. But how fucking, like, bro, that's a week of your life that you're never going to get back. Imagine those things that you could have done in that week. But nah, instead you sit there scrolling Twitter. And don't get me wrong, I've learned a lot of things from Twitter. A lot of things. The same thing goes for Instagram, but I mean Instagram and TikTok and those platforms are nowhere near as smart and informative as Twitter is, if you follow the right accounts, of course. But just think about the amount of things I could have done in that week where I've just spent it scrolling on fucking shitty social media platforms doing pointless shit. You know? I think a lot of things that I do and say are very contrarian. The reason I say that is because what's the point I was trying to make? That yeah, I just think that there's a lot of things that we can do with our time, like so many things that we can do with our time, but because there are so many little holes of just time that needs to be filled doing something, that hole is automatically filled with the easiest form of dopamine and stimulant, which is our phones. So it's so easy to just waste time doing pointless shit all the time when it's such easily accessible, so easily accessible. So yeah, I don't think there's any there's no way around it if you don't really want to get rid of it. Like you say, yeah, I probably shouldn't do it, but you're never going to quit it if you say it like that. You need to be there needs to be a reason why you're doing it, and then there also needs to be a filler of that habit, because you don't get rid of habits, you fill it with something else. I've found, like with most things, like you don't get rid of a phone addiction, you swap it with something else. That's how you get rid of it. Like there's only a finite amount of time, and that time is going to be filled doing something, and it's your job to make it be filled with something of of value, right? So when I have moments, like I have a 16-hour day, right? And the tasks that I'm doing are right now are editing, writing scripts, and recording most of the time. If I were to actually look back in hindsight and be like, okay, so how long does it take me to record? I don't know, 2 hours. I can probably fit it. Like, it's probably 2 hours stint to do everything that I need to do in a day, because I don't want to sit there recording for 16 hours straight, because the recordings, they're just going to lose quality the longer I do them, because I'm just going to get pissed off, right? So 2 hours. How long does it take me to write scripts? Um, the scripts that I want to do, I'm writing scripts for a YouTube creator. How long do they take me to do? Each one probably takes me about an hour and a half average. Um, so I want to do five in a day. So that's about, I don't know, 7.5 hours, pretty less than that actually, looking back at it. It's probably about six, but it adds up. So that's 8 hours of my day. And then the other thing that I'm doing is editing, right? But that's fairly menial. So I mean that's pretty easy going the way it goes. So that's like 10 hours total. Sorry, I'm just trying to work things out in my head. But so if you realize that, like 10 hours, you've still got eight hours of your day, like 6 to 8 hours of your day left, and that's if you're being 100% productive in those moments. And you probably do it in less time than that. But because we always fill gaps and aren't able to fully commit to the work that we're willing to do, the work that we want to do, like deep work that should take us an hour ends up taking us about three, because we just can't stay focused and do it. And we're always trying to stay stimulated and trying to do two things at once. So time is obviously our most valuable asset. And if you're not using it like with intention, then it's so easy to lose track of it and just lose track of your day, and look back at the end of the day and be like, okay, so how much have I done today? And you realize you've done almost nothing. And I'm speaking from my own experience here. But yeah, it's so easy to just kind of like lose track of time and not use time intentionally. So make of it what you will, but yeah, just do what you can, boys. Really, really and truly, just yeah. I mean, there's no perfect way for me to tell you how to do things. It's going to be different for everyone, but I think if you truly want it, you would use your time intentionally and be able to discipline yourself to not going on the stimulating things when they come up, because you know that there's better things that you could be doing with that time. But then it's a case of finding what you're going to do with that time, and maybe even writing it down. And that's the way that you're going to be able to actually use that time intentionally, because otherwise your habit is just going to go straight to your phone and do whatever it is on your phone, right? So, yeah, there's no perfect way around it, but sorry. With that said, I did write my newsletter today and release it. It got to 1 p.m. and I was like, holy shit, I haven't written my newsletter today. So I wrote that and I released it around 5 p.m. So sorry about that. So it was 3 hours late from the 2 p.m. that I usually do, but it's out anyway. Streak's still alive. I think I'm on a 13-week streak now. So That is 3 months and a week of consistent newsletters. So I intend to keep that going. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did read it, if you didn't, then you can go subscribe at the top of the description. I release them every Wednesday at 2 p.m. if I remember to do 2 p.m. If not, then it'll be released later, but it'll always be every single Wednesday. So go and check it out. But yeah, I need to go to bed. I've got my core focus tomorrow is literally just recording. Well, I just want to get them out. I just want to get them done, man, because it's gonna be so relieving once they're done, and then I can just focus on easier things. But until that arises, I'm just working. I'm just recording. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go to bed. I don't want to go to bed too late. It is currently 1 minute past 1. But I will see you tomorrow night. And yeah, I almost forgot to record this today. I feel like there is going to come a day where I just completely forget and I will go to sleep and wake up in the morning, but like, fuck, I didn't record my video, but what can you do? Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow night. And subscribe to the newsletter. All right, cheers, boys. Good night.